Now on reconciliation. Everybody needs to understand exactly what's going on with the Republicans' so-called reconciliation bill. Their big, beautiful bill is buckling under its own weight. Republicans can't agree among themselves on just how devastating to make their own bill. Should it be a lot devastating, even more devastating? But don't be fooled. Republicans absolutely agree that one way or the other, they want Medicare cut to the bone. So now Republicans are scrambling behind closed doors, trying to rewrite the bill, just enough to keep their Medicaid cuts alive. And why are they doing this? We know why. They want tax cuts for billionaires. But here's a thought. Instead of finding new ways to pass the same old cuts, why don't Republicans keep promises they've been making for weeks not to cut Medicaid? The dissonance we're hearing from Republicans is head-spinning. Because on the one hand, we've been hearing the same talking points for weeks, that somehow they're not going to cut people's Medicaid, that they're, quote, not in favor of cutting benefits regarding Medicaid. The quote, that quote. No one's losing their health care. That quote. Should not there be any cuts? These are real statements. I just read from our Senate Republican colleagues in the last month, Senators Blackburn and Bozeman and Cassidy and Cornyn. And there's plenty more where that came from, but their words, unfortunately, don't match their actions. The Republican bill does exactly the opposite of what they're saying. It doesn't save Medicare and health care, it eviscerates it. Independent studies show the Republican bill would cut health care for 16 million Americans. It would decimate rural hospitals. It would harm nursing homes. It would kill nearly 1 million jobs. And it would raise health care costs for everyone, even those with private insurance. That's the bill the Republicans are working on right now, and that's what it would do. Apparently, Republicans are okay with the consequences. Former Leader McConnell shrugged off people's concerns, saying folks worried about Medicaid cuts will, quote, get over it. They'll have to get over it. Isn't that cruel? Meanwhile, Senator Ernst told people to stop fussing because, quote, we're all going to die. What planet are they on? Is this Republican talk to people back home worried about seeing a doctor? Is this how Republicans talk to people back home worried about seeing a doctor, taking care of their kids and affording prescription drugs? Now, a few Senate Republicans have shown some flickers of lucidity in closed-door meetings and in hallway conversations. A few at least claim they recognize what the rest of us already know. Their own bill would decimate their own constituents. The senior senator from North Carolina was handing out flyers at a recent Republican lunch detailing how his own state and 9 others would lose tens of billions in funding and see hundreds of thousands of people lose insurance. The senior senator from Missouri acknowledged it's just not the right thing to do to shut down a bunch of rural hospitals to pay for tax cuts. The senator from Wisconsin warned, we are mortgaging our children's future. It's unconscionable, it's immoral, it has to stop. Well, these are all nice words, but they mean nothing if the only thing Republicans do over the next few days is find new ways to pass the same old cuts. New lipstick, same pig. That's what's going on right now with the Republican bill. So Republicans have a choice to make. They can keep chasing arbitrary deadlines. They can keep making edits and changes in the hopes that some combination of Medicaid and SNAP and clean energy cuts will make it to the floor. They can keep rewriting a bad bill into a slightly different bad bill. Or they can ask the obvious question, should we pass this bill at all? The answer is no. They should abandon Donald Trump's so-called beautiful bill. It makes no sense whatever for Republicans to pass a bill that even they admit will kick millions of hardworking Americans off health insurance. It makes no sense for Republicans to pass a bill that will kill good-paying energy jobs, most of them in Republican states, while surrendering American energy independence to China. It is morally bankrupt to take food away from kids to give to the ultra-rich, and morally bankrupt to saddle future generations with insurmountable debt. And it is morally bankrupt to ask working and middle Americans to bankroll tax breaks for billionaires at a time they're struggling to pay for groceries and rent. So the Senate Republican bill is not just flawed, It is irredeemable. I yield the floor. Note the absence of a quorum.